Is raspberry lemonade okay? Or I got pink? Raspberry. And for you, hon? Water? Sprite? Arnold Palmer? Sweet tea. Sweet tea? Yeah. You want to do that? You want to do that? What you guys drinking today, guys? Raspberry lemon. Raspberry lemonade. All raspberry lemonades? No. What you drinking, hon? Water. Water.
Alcohol.
All right, guys. Let me show you guys your table.
Did you get a drink? Perfect. Girl boss. Yes. This is what you call family time.
You felt us? So you got to give them a little longer.
Damn. 2 years.
But I don't know if I know her, bro.
You know, put that word in.
You know her ground?
I don't know what the fuck went on. We just left the buffet. The whole thing, you gotta watch the
So you guys, we are inside of the pier parking lot and we actually don't know where to go just to get out to the pier because this is her 3 kids' first day
But I have been working
in
on that
Chicago.
thing for so long.
And that's her, and today's her
It
second.
had to take like a year.
So, and then, yeah, so now this man just told us where to go. So now we're out. I'm about to be out.
Get your film, maybe try.
My mom and my brother, and then my sister. I only have 1 sister and 4 brothers. Wow. My sister telling me to wait for her, and my mom and my brother are way back there. So come on, sis. Ooh, those tacos look like LA tacos. I don't want to keep on going back and forth.
Thank you.
First we went that way, then we went that way. Now we're going that way.
Man, the whole thing did something good.
It's not fun to go back and forth.
Not being in
What sense does that make? We are somewhere in
No,
between here.
you're here. It says you are here.
We're here or where?
Point where we're at, Michael. Let's see how much it costs to go on a tour.
Believe it can be done, but here in Chicago we believe that things can be done. That's why we just replace our kickers after 1 bad field goal. So here's what we did. We turned the river around. How did we do it? We built a dam 20 miles down the river, stopping the river's flow. Built a dam, dug a giant trench 20 miles long, 40 feet deep, huge trench. But here's the problem. We forgot to notify our neighbor, St. Louis, about this. So anyone from St. Louis on board? Folks, please keep hands and stuff inside. Sorry, gotta keep the hands and stuff inside while we're going through this. But anyway, anyone from St. Louis anymore on board or have any St. Louis ties? I just want to make sure. St. Louis is a terrible place. I hate St. Louis, no problem. I've been to St. Louis, it's extremely boring. They have the arch, that's it. You go in a really weird elevator and it's just not fun, okay? I don't like St. Louis. They have a decent baseball team, but other than the arch and that, I don't get it. I don't get the hype around it. I have friends from St. Louis. They're miserable, okay? They don't like going home. All right. So St. Louis, really, really mad at us. They're gonna take us to court. The court date between St. Louis and Chicago, set for January 1st, 1900, literally the turn of the century. Why am I telling you this? Because folks, on December 31st, 1899, corrupt politicians were born here in Chicago. Here's what we did. We took our police chief, a few of his buddies. They probably stopped at like the 21st Amendment or the liquor store on the way. Went down to that dam with some dynamite. Blew the thing up the night before the court trial. Yeah, let's go. Chicago Politics 101. Not going your way, you just blew it up. Wow, that was fascinating. Anyway, so we blew it up. Chicago River's been flowing that way ever since. Here's the fun part though. St. Louis is the real winner at the end of the day, folks. You wanna know why? They bottle that stuff up, that dirty Chicago water, and sell it back to all of us as Bud Light. Exactly. They're the real winners at the end of the day, folks. But that didn't solve this issue. We still had way too much water coming from the Great Lakes over to the Chicago River. We were draining the Great Lakes. Not good. Other states were really mad at us. So we built this lock. What it does is it regulates how much water goes into the Chicago River from Lake Michigan. We get just about 1 billion gallons a day. We could run this lock 24/7, all day, all night. Could not reach that number. It's a very hard number to reach. Right now, we will move 1.5 million gallons of water to come into the Chicago River. When we go out, same number, 1.5 million gallons. So, if you didn't feel important before you got on this boat, we're moving 3 million gallons of water for you right now. So you're welcome. Very special here. Another building I like to talk about that I never really get to talk about is that big one that looks like black and white stripes. That would be the Aon Center. All right, building so nice they built it twice. What do I mean by that? When that building was originally built, they clouded the entire outside with marble. The same marble they made the Statue of David of. Here's the problem. Marble doesn't do so well in really harsh climates that switch constantly. Literally the definition of Chicago. If you've been here this week, you know what I mean. Wow. Anyway, so that building, that marble was beginning to crack, beginning to crumble, even beginning to fall. Not good. So we just redid the entire outside with granite for a casual $1 million per floor. Yeah, that's an 82-story building, folks. But it just goes to show here in Chicago, anytime something's not going our way, we just write an $82 million check and it will be all okay. The next building I want to talk about as we enter the Chicago River is this one right here. And why it's so interesting. It was built illegally. What do I mean by that? So the Great Chicago Fire happens. There's all this ash from the thousands of buildings that were burnt to the ground. They pushed all that ash out here to Lake Michigan, right on this land. So it becomes a giant landfill for a little bit. Here's the thing, in Chicago, there's a rule. You cannot build on land that is east of Lakeshore Drive. That's how we keep our beaches nice and pretty without that many apartments. Can't build east of Lakeshore Drive. This building begins construction. Beautiful building, right? Chicago goes up to their door and says, excuse me, you guys cannot build here. But this building's architects had really, really good attorneys, probably really expensive too, who said, excuse me, Chicago, we're not building on land east of Lakeshore Drive. No, we're building on land fill east of Lakeshore Drive. They found the loophole, and it was quite some loophole because it's still up here to this day. That loophole has since been closed, and now this is arguably one of the only non-commercial buildings that you will see this side of Lakeshore Drive ever. because it's so important to Chicago. But yes, that is of course Lake Point Tower. The top, there was a rumor that Oprah lived there. I can tell you that's not true. Oprah did not live there, but you know who did live there? Tom Cruise lived there. So if you're a fan of extremely average action movies, Tom Cruise is your guy. And he lives in that building. Of course, now we're going down under Lakeshore Drive. Legendary Lakeshore Drive Bridge. Hundreds of thousands of people travel this bridge every single day. It's a beautiful drive that you follow. But yes, one of the busiest roads in America right here, boss, Lakeshore Drive. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to duck down and listen next to this guy in the front. But this is arguably the best picture in Chicago. Go ahead, take your phones out, post it on InstaFace or Facebook, whatever you guys use it nowadays. Take a picture of it. It's a beautiful picture. The sun right on top. Wow. Awesome.
I want to stand up and do it.
This is my job, guys. I'm on the clock right now. Come on. Does it get better?
I want to be.
All right. Now, the first building I want to talk about right here, this tall one, soon to be the third tallest building in Chicago. This would, of course, be Jeannie Gang, the architect. Remember that name? Jeannie Gangs. It will be the, excuse me, lost of words here. It will be the third tallest building in Chicago, and Jeannie Gang is going to break a record with that. Not only is a Chicagoan, not only is her firm based here in Chicago, but when it is completed, it will be the tallest building in the world ever, designed by a female lead architect. Ladies and gentlemen, make some girl power noise. We're very proud of Jeannie Gang. Something else I want to point out though, and we're going to talk about it a lot on this tour. Notice the blue-green glass, the waves of the building. That is a style choice called postmodernism. Say it with me. Postmodernism. Good. Postmodernism is an architect style choice that reflects everything around the building, especially nature. So when you look at the blue-green glass, what do you guys think that's reflecting?
Water, lake.
Water, exactly. It's reflecting the river and the lake that we see here and we are traveling on today. Beautiful Vista Tower. It's going to be awesome and beautiful when it's completed. Now remember when I told you Jeannie Gang broke the world record? She actually broke her own world record. Real baller move. Even bigger baller move. She did it 2 blocks away. This next building is called Aqua. It's the one with the waves on the sides. I have a buddy who lives up on the 70th floor. Sea-Dog is paying him very well right now. Anyway, lives on the 70th floor. You notice those balconies on the side though. What are those for? Well, one, they're free. That's the first reason they're there. 2, the other reason they're there is because they use the wind, so the building doesn't sway as much. Makes it really easy. And the third reason, it maximizes balcony space for its tenants. Here in Chicago, you want to know the difference between a residential and commercial building? Residential will have at least 1 balcony on it. Here in Chicago, people love their balconies. That's a prime example of why. The next building I want to talk about up here on the right is, of course, the legendary Wrigley Building. Now, here's what's interesting about the Wrigley Building.
That's the best building.
It changes colors.
Right in the middle.
What do I mean by that? If you start at the bottom and move your eyes up, the outer side cladding of this building gets lighter, automatically drawing your eyes to the clock tower. That is the purpose of this building. It also served as Wrigley's headquarters when it was first built. Wrigley, whether you know it from the gum. Anyone have Wrigley gum on them right now? Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But yes, Wrigley Gum Company here. It actually started off as a soap company. Not a lot of people know that. Wrigley actually started off as a soap company. In order to sell their soap, they put gum into their soap to sell it. But what they found out is people were actually just taking out the soap, throwing the soap away, and keeping the gum. So then they just turned into a gum company. Now coming up in front of us, the second tallest building in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trump International Hotel and Tower. It is designed by a Chicago architect named Adrian Smith, who also designed the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. The tallest building in the world when the drawings initially came out in early 2000. Here's the problem. A few months after those drawings came out, the tragic event of 9/11 occurred. They decided to scale back the building significantly, so now it is just the second tallest in Chicago. Notice that each has a setback. All those setbacks actually pay homage to its neighboring buildings except for the top one. The top one pays respect and honor to the attacks on 9/11 and the World Trade Center. by the name of Van der Rohe. He's from Germany. Came to the United States to design buildings. He designed this one right here. He believed that less is more, and that a building should reflect what goes on inside. So he designed this beautiful piece of art. I don't like it. I think it's boring. That's just my taste. I think it's really boring, but that's what Van der Rohe likes. Here, I'm more like Van der Rohe students. He had a student named Bergman who believed that buildings should be inspired by nature and the purpose that they serve. So he designed the Corn Cob Towers, also what is known as Marina City, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Marina City, a Chicago staple. Everyone knows it as those Chicago buildings that look like corn. I'm from Indiana. I love corn. Anyway, it's actually designed to look like rose petals falling from the heavens above. Bergman believed that you should live, work, and play in the spot in which you live. So he designed this. In this building, you have restaurants, literally a marina in your basement. Not only that, but you also have a movie theater. However, they recently transitioned the movie theater into becoming the House of Blues. Has anyone heard of the House of Blues? Kind of a popular destination here in Chicago. But yes, he designed those Corn Cob Towers, and now it's literally one of the most recognizable buildings here in Chicago. Hi! Okay. Sometimes they wave, sometimes they don't wave. Coming up here on our right is the oldest building on our tour. That would, of course, be the Reed Murdoch building from 1914. Any Cubs fans on board? Okay, good. It's good that you're on it. Well, of course, this building was built actually 7 years after the Cubs' second World Series win. The last one before their 1916. So this building isn't as old as the Cubs' losing streak is. Anyone notice anything interesting about this building? The brick, yes. It's actually lopsided. That side has 6 face windows. This side only has 5. That's because when they widened LaSalle Drive, they needed to make room, so they just knocked down that portion of the building, making room for LaSalle Drive, one of the business roads in Chicago. This building right here, two on the right, looks blue, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's actually really, really green. Let me explain. So it's actually green because it's really, really good for the environment. It received an award called the LEED Certified Platinum, the highest award you can receive for being environmentally friendly as a building. Let me give you an example of how it's so environmentally friendly. That building sucks in river water, the dirty, mucky, yucky river water, uses it to cool the entire building instead of your standard AC unit. And then it cleans that river water and returns it to the river cleaner than how they received it. Awesome building right there. 300 North and South right there. This right here, this big monster, man, it's huge. 8 miles of hallway in this building. This is, of course, the merchandise mart. 8 miles of hallway, 4.2 million square feet, and for a long period of time, it was owned by the Kennedys. Yes, those Kennedys. Yes. Now, everything goes on in the merchandise mart. Lots of interesting things go on. What's it used for? Well, it was a long time a warehouse for merchandise stores. However, now, it's everything from a warehouse. You can even take a sushi making class in that building. I'll be there on Wednesday. See y'all there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce
he won't be there on Wednesday.
to the birthplace of Chicago, where first settlers came. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wolf Point. Woo! No. Woo! Thank you for humoring me. I appreciate it. Yes, Wolf Point, first settlers right here in Chicago along these banks. But I want to talk a building right there. That would, of course, be River Point. Looks like a giant Hot Pocket. Always hot on the outside, always cold in the center, folks. Anyway, looks like a giant Hot Pocket. Notice those 2 arches. St. Louis only has 1. We're still beating them by 2. Chicago's automatically better already. But those arches actually serve as in the building's support structure. We're going to talk a lot about support structures along this route. Why? Because technically, none of these buildings you see along this street are touching the ground. Yeah, it's true. There's subways all underneath them. I'm going to explain more of that in a little bit, so bear with me. But yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The building is falling on us! Ah, I'm kidding. It's not actually falling around probably turn the boat around if it was. Maybe. Anyway, talking about this building support structure. This is 150. This building right here, it's support structure right in the middle there. All of that wind coming down right in the middle, deep into the ground. Remember though, subway system is still underneath the ground here. They have to pay a little fee. We're talking about with this next building. And we're going under this bridge up here. This building is known as the Boeing building. Anyone fly Boeing recently? Yeah. So this is the Boeing building, their headquarters here in Chicago. Their old headquarters were actually in Seattle, but they actually moved in here after getting a massive tax break from the city. So they built their headquarters here. Formerly the Morton Salt Company's building, now for Boeing. But on the outside here, you see all these pillars. There's the support structure there, because this building sits on not actual land. If you look through those crates right there, you might even see a subway go by. Right all over there. Any opera singers on board? I would sing, but I don't want to put you through that. That'd be terrible. This is, of course, the Civic Opera Building, designed by Mr. Insull himself. Mr. Insull was a very wealthy man. His wife, however, also very wealthy. She wanted to be an opera singer when she grew up. Here's the only problem. God awful. Terrible. Not good. Terrible. Couldn't get a job in New York. Couldn't get a job in Kansas City. So he said, no, to worry, honey. I'm going to build you your own opera center where you can sing whenever you want. So he did. Notice how it looks like a giant lazy boy chair. That's because all of this land before there were buildings here, Insull owned a ton of railroads. This was all railroads as far as the eye could see. There's an old saying back in the 1900s, all railroads lead through Chicago. That's because a lot of them did. He owned most of them. Guy was filthy, stinking rich. Was actually the inspiration for the Monopoly guy. Lots of money. So he also created this thing called air rights, which is the tax that all these buildings have to pay to be built above the subway and metro stations. All right, so he created this tax. How much does this tax get? Pretty expensive. That Boeing building we just saw has to pay $1.5 million this year as part of their air rights, just to have their building parked above this metro you see right there. Look, you can see the train, guys. Hi, train. I like waving to inanimate objects. Where are my Dark Knight superhero movie fans at? Anyone seen The Dark Knight? All right, skip the first one. It's average. 2 and 3 are excellent. 2's the best. Filmed right here in Chicago. Don't know why the third one was filmed in Pittsburgh. Anyone from Pittsburgh? Anyone? Good. Pittsburgh, also terrible. Anyway, so Dark Knight, famous scene, opening scene. The Joker shoots a zip line out a window of an office building to get to rob a bank, which is the U.S. Post Office. Zip line was fired out of this glass curvature building right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big daddy of them all. Stretch your necks for the 1,451 feet tall, ladies and gentlemen, the Sears Tower. Let's try that again. Make some noise, please. The Sears Tower. Yes, the Sears Tower, standing at 1,451 feet tall, home of the Skydeck. Has anyone visited the Skydeck? No? Yes, sir, you have? Awesome. Remind me to tell you why it's not the best observation deck in the city. Remind me. I'll get to that later. I will get to that later, but remind me when we get back to the locks, all right? But yes, when you see those glass boxes at the very top, that is actually called the ledge, where they will literally let you walk out on this glass box, look down on the city. Really scary stuff. Really cool though. You should try it, if you're not scared of heights. So anyway, all these buildings, folks, are known as a system called the Gateway. Really creative in the name department. Some of these buildings are named the Gateway 1, 2, 3, and 4. Didn't want to name anything plus that. Really weird stuff. Don't know why. But anyway, moving forward. We've talked about the air rights. You notice how these buildings all look like really famous business buildings, right? They look like real Wall Street. That's because this is known as Chicago's financial district. Just like New York has. Big cities have them. We're one of those big cities. We do have a financial district. It's all in this area. Speaking of finances, does anyone see the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Yeah! Oh wow, lots of people love it. Yes, you have it written down. But yes, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they come to the stock exchange. Cameron gets really weirded out at the stock here. Originally a 5-story building, really boring, no one cared about it. Now it's going to be a 52-story tall building with an awesome plaza right in front of the building. Ladies and gentlemen, arguably the most historic part of our tour, Starbucks. I'm kidding, Chicago, it's one of the cheaper and it's less profitable. Anyway, this is actually the old spot of Wigwam Hall, where a guy you guys might know, Abraham Lincoln, received the Republican nomination to be the next president of the United States. He received that nomination right here. Actually, he the victory speech right inside the Starbucks. What a birthday. Alright, let me see one more time. Let's play Ferris Bueller's Day Off class. Alright, there we go. This building right here, in non-consecutive years, was voted the most beautiful building here in Chicago by the Tribune. This building right here, the one was Ferris Bueller's dad's office building, where he looked down on Dearborn Street, where he saw Ferris Bueller. So shaking it up, baby, now shaking it up, everybody. Twist and shout, twist and shout. There we go. But yes, notice the glass. That's postmodernism. Once again, it's reflecting the buildings around it. One of my personal favorite buildings in Chicago. I really do think it's beautiful. The way it just kind of mirrors the city. That's city. Let's talk about that day right there. We talked about how this land is owned by the Kennedys, not just the merchandise part. All this land right here. And see how they're building 3 very tall buildings right now? Those will all be
I need to be adopted into their family.
And if anyone wants to go splitsy, I'm
Serious.
2-bedroom and that many right here on the corner. Going for a casual 10 grand a month. Anyone trying to go splitsies? No? I'm kidding. Tour guides don't get paid that well. But with that property, the Kennedys also used to own the merchandise mart. They bought it for $16 million back in the 1940s. Anyone want to guess how much they sold it for in the 1990s? 32 million? No. For what? 50 billion. Okay, not that high. You can buy Chicago with 50 billion. No, they actually sold it for $690 million, which I translated in today's money would be just about $1 billion. So huge property. It takes up 2 city blocks to merchandise market. Now, folks, something I love pointing out on every tour is I love giving people advice on what to do during their trip in Chicago. Who's going to be in Chicago for a few days? Just raise your hand, okay? Yeah, I'm glad you're here to join our city, but something we have to do is we just poured a lot of stinking money into this awesome river walk right here. Enjoy the river walk. Go walk, get some food on it. Maybe don't get food on it, it's really expensive. Maybe get some food on the upper levels of streets. Get takeout, bring it down, walk along the river walk. Sit on these steps. I saw a guy on these steps the other day with a bottle of wine, just him. It was like 2 o'clock on a Monday. Kind of weird, but if that's your cup of tea. Alright, going back to my movie lovers, where's the Dark Knight fans at? Me! Favorite movie of all time. I watch it like at least once. It has to be. I love questions. I love getting asked. I'm A by the hour. So the longer questions you guys got, that's great. Yeah. So the Navy Pier, oh, they just opened up a can of worms for me to talk about. Look at that. So yes, the Navy Pier. We call it the historic Navy Pier because it really is historic, guys. This pier was originally part of the city plan of Chicago. It was going to be a 5-pier system, all right? 5 piers. We started building Municipal Pier number 2. Municipal Pier number 2 was the only one built. Don't know why, but we started on number 2 and we finished with number 2. Municipal Pier number 2, sorry. Anyway, Municipal Pier number 2 was built. Right there, you see it right there. Municipal Pier number 2 was built. World War I comes along. They use it as a prison for people who refuse to go through the draft into war. It was a prison for draft dodgers. Then World War I comes to a close. The Navy uses it as a training base. World War II comes along. It becomes a training base for people to be shipped out. Guys, birds are going to land on the boat. Sorry. They're really intrusive. This one might be a nice one. Don't kick it. Just like shoot it if it comes close. Just let me know. The mockingbirds are really mean here. Anyway, going back to the pier. World War II comes along. It's a training base. You go for 3 days. Day 1, you get your books. Day 2, you take the test. Day 3, you land an airplane on the aircraft carrier out in Lake Michigan. lots of planes, like hundreds of planes are in the bottom of Lake Michigan. George H.W. Bush allegedly crashed a plane in Lake Michigan out here during that training camp. So yes, it was intense training. So,
Scuba diving in Lake Michigan.
World War II comes and goes, training camp closes. Then it becomes a college campus, University of Illinois here in Chicago. College campus, used for 20 years. Then in the mid-60s, they shut it down. Pearson's, oh, that's the mean one. Yeah, he's mean, don't touch him. Yeah, he's just not very nice.
Yeah, the ones with the red are the ones you have to be careful of.
Yeah,
with a little bit of red on their wing. The other ones are fine. Those are the aggressive ones. That one looks kind of small, so it's probably good. My dad loves.
Anyway, so.
I mean, they'll attack your head.
That's true.
Yeah, especially if you have a bill on your head.
Ducks are nice though. We like ducks here. Ducks are the nice ones. Anyway, so Navy Pier sits empty for 20 years after University of Illinois Chicago leaves. No one's using it. Then we have a mayor here, Richard Daley, comes in, says we need to renovate the pier. They put $150 million, get a Ferris wheel out there, enjoy it, build all these tourist destinations. And because of that, and that original investment, Navy Pier became the destination that it is as we know it today. In 2016, it actually just got a $250 million renovation. That's why it's really pretty now. I don't know if anyone has visited prior to 2016. Went through a rough patch there. Now really pretty in there. Great food options. It's way better than what it was. New Ferris wheel too. That one, fun fact about the Ferris wheel really quick. That Ferris wheel we just got in 2016 is still 64 feet shorter than the original Ferris wheel here in Chicago that was originally built for the 1893 World's Fair. First Ferris wheel ever, right here in Chicago. Okay, there's a few things I think you have to do in Chicago. And I don't like to narrow it down by neighborhood because it's just like, there's a lot of nitpicking things. But one of the things I love to do is, like I said, the bike ride along the Lake Michigan. My favorite thing to do. Walking alongside Lake Michigan at like dusk, because the way the sun sets, it's going to be terrible tonight because it's cloudy. But on a nice day, when the sun sets, it sunsets behind the city. So it's absolutely beautiful when you're maybe out here on our nightly cruise. Sub, slight plug. But also, every Wednesday and Saturday here in Chicago, we do fireworks out on the lake. So it's an absolute beautiful thing. You can do a fireworks cruise. There's lots of things to do in Chicago. I think it's narrowing it down by neighborhood. Like I can't do it. It's tough because I have like my list of top 15 things I always go through. Like I'd have to like, you just opened a can of worms. Best deep dish pizza. First of all, folks, a little history lesson for you. Chicago deep dish pizza. True Chicago style pizza isn't deep dish. Yeah. True Chicago style pizza was actually really, really thin crust that bartenders used to serve to patrons who are drinking at the bar to keep them in the bar. So it's actually really thin crust. Thick crust, however, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to hurt some feelings on here. If you work for Giordano's, like it's great pizza. Like I'm not lying, it's great pizza. But not my favorite in the city. It's a really touristy place. Every time you go there, it's just like, oh my gosh, where's Harry Carey at? Like it's just, it's a lot of tourist people. So my personal favorite, if you're in Chicago, Lou Malnati's is my favorite. Chino's is very good. Pequod's is really, really good. That's my personal, that's my family's favorite place to go. Pequod's is really good, but yeah, Malnati's for me is my favorite one. Let me come up here. I said I'd come back to you. Why when it opens all the water looks like a waterfall? Because when we're in here, the water level is really a lot shorter than it is outside on the lake. So the water's actually coming over into this lock like a waterfall. It's really pretty though. Best fish? Like just in general?
No, out here.
Well, it's a lake, so we don't have like saltwater fish. I think it's a lot of like lake fish, like bass, catfish, trout. I mean, it's just, I don't know if there's like a best fish, but there's a lot of, there's not really fun ocean animals out here. It's just kind of like a lot of fish that you can find in your lakes at home. Yeah. Huh? They basically shut down entry. There's another lock a little bit south of us. But this is actually run by the United States Army Corps. Any active servicemen or previous servicemen on board, I'd like to point out, thank you for your service, sir. Thank you. But yes, it's actually operated by the United States Army. So actually, if you were to hop off this boat over to that ledge, you'll be trespassing on government property. Fun fact, don't do it. But yes, if it does break, I don't think we've had, I mean, Jamie, in your experience, has that ever happened? Has the lock ever stopped working? I don't know. It has, yeah. So it does happen occasionally, but usually they just shut it down and get it fixed really quick. Yeah. Yes, good. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's actually right behind us. That's the Hancock Tower. That is my personal best observation deck. No, it's not the tallest building in Chicago, but in my opinion, it is the best viewing deck because, frankly, you got 360 views. It's in the heart of downtown, which you get the best of Michigan Avenue and everything past that. Also, if you're not trying to pay $25 for the observation deck and you're 21 or older, there's a bar up there, Signature Bar and Lounge. It's also a restaurant, but it's really fancy and expensive. But they also have a great view of the city up there. Apparently, the best view of the city is in the women's bathroom in the Signature Lounge. And don't go in there and don't tell them I told you to. We've had that incident happen before. I'm going to put a pause on all questions for now. I love that you guys ask questions. That's awesome. I love when people do that. It's up to our spirit too. But I want to talk to you guys really quick because we are about to go fast out here. It is really important now more than ever that one, you are sitting down, buckled in. We will be going fast. Don't sit down, don't stand up, not smart. Two, hold on to any loose belongings, hats, purses, backpacks, towels, blankets, children, you name it, we don't want it flying out. Really, please hold on to your stuff because we will be going fast. When we are going fast, I will be walking up and down the aisle. If you guys want a picture with you in your group, all I ask is just one phone per group. No, I'm sorry. Just one phone. It saves me a lot of time so I can get to everywhere. I'm going to hit your row based on where the city is. have fun today?
Yay!
That's all I like to hear. Hey, let's hear it for our first mate, Taylor.
Yay!
Yeah, Taylor's awesome. Let's hear it for our captain, Princess Jamie.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, that's great, guys. Hey, folks, we are so glad you joined us today. Hey, listen, I know there's a ton of options for how to do this tour here in Chicago. I want to thank you all for choosing this boat.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yes. Did you guys have fun?
Yes.
We worked really hard to make sure we are the most fun tour in Chicago. I promise you.
Yes,
all right, we crank up the jokes, turn up the music, and we make sure y'all have a fun time while learning something, all right? And we hope you guys did tonight, okay? One thing, if you guys really had a great experience, I love to hear about it. And one of the ways I love to hear about it is I love checking Facebook every night on our Facebook page, CDOT Boat Tours. I love checking to hear what you guys think, whether it's good. You know, I love seeing your guys' comments. If it's something you really specifically liked or a joke I said that you guys loved, go on Facebook, write about how you loved your tour guide Griff, your first mate Taylor, and Captain Princess Jamie. Important you put the princess. The bosses don't know the difference. So please say Princess Jamie as your captain and say you guys had a great time. I love to see it. I check it every night when I get home. I'm dead serious. But Jamie and Taylor love to see it. Our bosses like to see it. Helps with the whole job security thing. Really great. Folks, but at this time, we are just about done. If you want to unbuckle your seatbelt.
No, it's easier going up. You too. Let me see. The city?
You guys can take a photo of it. Yeah.
I can't wait to go to LA so I can see little itty bitty puppy.
And a lot of things, especially about these buildings, like they were saying how they have to pay a lot of money for these buildings because the structure, they have no structure really, and they just sit on no ground. Because right under where they're built at is a subway, so this big hole. You ever seen that? They have to pay for that. Because I guess the Harrys or something like that. What was it, the Harrys?
I know what you said, but I forgot what you said.
It's on record.
Somebody said that. He said that there's this place where they built an 80-foot hole down in the ground because there's supposed to be a building up there that was gonna be the tallest building in the United States of America, and they got canceled because it was this building. It's this building right next to where that hole is, and that hole got built for no reason.
I'm really struggling. You always try to copy my angles, like, I'm always gonna record when I'm recording.
She says still.
Oh, wow, I'm really about to slide look at these videos. Like,
Exactly. I don't care what she got to say.
I got it. I got it.
Oh. This is some good footage.
I want to sit in the window.
Put me on a whole window seat. Lord knew I deserved this window seat. Lord knew I deserved this window seat, man. And we got TVs up in this mug with a little white lady on the screen and everything. See, American is the way to go because United had us all the way twisted. I swear. How you feeling, boy? Shut up. He mad because he got to sit next to me. He better be happy he on this motherfucking plane because we could have sent his ass on the bus.
I don't care. Because you know I'm supposed to have window seat.
No, you're supposed to have what's on your ticket. That's what you're supposed to have. So, yeah. Bro, I don't want to see this, bro. Get this off my screen, bro.
Stop lying. You know you love that man. These are my earphones, and I gave them to mom.
No,
Yes,
bro.
they are.
You're tripping.
You want to call
tripping.
mom?
Also, 50,000 folks. Well,